You were a chemical engineer. What made that transition?
I didn't really love the cubicle lifestyle. And at the time I was still working as an engineer. My mental health was just like going downhill every day. I'd be like in the bathroom crying, editing the booty picture, posting it. I'm like, I don't want to be here. A lot of my family got sent like screenshots of my like oily booty pics on Instagram and stuff. My dad, I was just worried like what he would think. He actually didn't talk to me for about a year. Majority of people thought because I was doing all these like lingerie shoots and oily booty photos on Instagram that I was like a prostitute.
So I'm here with Ara, has 2.1 million followers on Instagram. You're an OnlyFans star, but you were a chemical engineer. That's what your degree was in. Where were you back then to chemical engineer to then now an OnlyFans star? What made that transition?
So I was very unhappy like with what I did. I didn't really love the cubicle lifestyle. I'm very creative and I like to talk to people and just be out and about doing things. And I was just like, my mental health was just like going downhill every day and I was just not getting excited to get out of bed to go to work. At the same time, I'm a Capricorn, so I'm very like money and numbers oriented. And since I was 14 years old, I've had a job. So I didn't see myself being able to pay all my student debt with the job that I had. And I tried getting a second job, like a bottle service job. And at the time, you know, when you're new in those types of industries, you don't get the best tables, or maybe you might not even get any tables at the end of the night. And you still have to tip out. That's the thing with like service industry, like servers, bartenders, they have to tip out at the end of the night to the house, which then I was spending money to go to work and I wasn't making anything, which brought me to premium Snapchat. So one of the nights that I was bottle service, they cut me early because they didn't need me. So I went home and I had like 25,000 followers or something like that on Instagram. So I just like posted, if you want to be added back to my Snapchat, like send me an email transfer, which in Canada, that's like a Zelle. We don't have like Cash App and stuff in Canada. And I ended up getting a bunch of like hits on that. And like I made like maybe like $200 that night. And I was like, damn, I basically made more money than I would have at my bottle service job because I would have had no section. So I kind of just started pursuing that and trying to figure out ways to monetize that, which brought me to Patreon and OnlyFans because I wanted to get automatic payments. I didn't want to follow up manually with the user to get their payment.
This is on Snapchat you started?
I was communicating with them through Snapchat, or sorry, through Instagram DMs.
Okay.
But if they wanted an ad back on my Snapchat, they would pay for the ad back, basically. It was like a premium Snap. Okay. And at the time, I was just doing like bikini stuff on there, like, you know, nothing too wild. But it was annoying because every month I'd have to be like, hey, like, do you want to stay or I'm going to delete you? Like, if you want to send me a payment. Also, I'm from Canada, so it was very limited to the payment option. It was like email transfer or PayPal. And then my PayPal also got deleted because PayPal doesn't like love this type of.
How did they know that you were doing those transactions?
I don't know.
Okay, that's creepy.
Yeah, I don't know, but the struggle was real. So I looked into Patreon. I made a Patreon in the beginning, and then I came to Miami. I came on a birthday trip. Actually, I came solo because none of my friends could afford it or take time off. So I came to Miami by myself in January, and I'm outgoing, and I knew a few people on Instagram, like photographers and a few creators. So I was like, you know what? I'll just go and make friends and link up with the people that I know. So that's what I did. I ended up coming here, and I ran into a few girls, and they did OnlyFans. And they told me that in OnlyFans, not only you can make money off the subscription, but you can also make money off the messages.
Wow.
So I was like, whoa,
Wait,
you can't.
So what's the difference? Because like when you
Patreon is just tiers. So it was like a $5 tier, $10, $25.
Got it.
And in different tiers, you give them access to different types of content or whatever. A lot of podcasts will have a Patreon. And they make like an extra episode per week or per month for their users.
But for OnlyFans, it's like pay per message?
Yeah, I was doing it very much so like Playboy style. So I was like, $5 gets you like these types of photos, $10 gets you these types of photos, $25 gets you this, and like you can message me or something. But like you couldn't really like lock messages or send anything for more money in the messages on Patreon. And that was very appealing to me. So I switched over to OnlyFans. And at the time, I was still working as an engineer. So I was like at my desk editing my booty photos, like just so scared that my boss was gonna come over my shoulder and like see me. I'm like, oh my God. Like, but I would like go to the bathroom and like upload to my Patreon, and I would like make a little story and be like, new set on Patreon. But I'm like at my engineering job, like, oh my God. But then that was like also the point where my mental health wasn't good. Like I'd be like in the bathroom crying, editing the booty picture, posting it. I'm like, I don't want to be here. Like this isn't exciting to me. another factor that went into it was I asked for a raise. So it was like the end of the year, like roundup you do with your team. And like I did the research. I was like, a person with my experience and with my field should be making this much. So I asked her, I was like, can you like match to the industry standard? And they were like, she was like, honestly, I don't even get paid what I'm supposed to get paid. So,
Wow.
and I've been working here for 15 years.
Wow.
I'm like, damn, you've been working here for 15 years and you're just my boss and I just came through the door. Like, that sucks. I always saw myself as a CEO, as a boss, like as the top of the chain of any company. So I didn't really see room for growth. And since I'm very like numbers oriented, I was like, the numbers aren't really making sense. I have $30,000 of student debt and I need something that's gonna pay me to pay that debt off, but also be able to save and buy a house and invest in stocks and, do different things, like be able to help people. I want to employ people. I want to give back. I want to build schools. I want to do whatever I can with the money that I make. And this isn't enough to even pay off my debt.
Yeah. So what was the turning point from, you're like, okay, I'm not going to ever really make any more money, but I can in this. Did you have like an aha moment of like, we're going all into it? Or what was that?
I made some phone calls to like my high school best friend. His name is Brandon. And I was like, oh my God, what should I do? Like, should I leave the job? Like, what should I do? Like, I was like in the conference room, like asking my friend if I should like quit. And I came to the decision of taking a stress leave. In Canada, we have a thing called stress leave. Okay. So you can go to the doctor or whoever you need to get a letter and then you get paid time off basically for mental health. So I took that time off from March to May of 2019. And from that point, from March, I came to Miami and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ham. I'm going to go ham. I don't know if the kids still say that. Go hard as a motherfucker. I'm just going to shoot. I'm going to collab. I'm going to try to get brand deals. I'm going to try to, grow my monetization on OnlyFans more. At the time, I was making like half my paycheck on OnlyFans. Okay. So I was making like $4,000 a month as an engineer, and I was making like $2,000 on OnlyFans. Okay. So I was like, if I can just at least make as much as my paycheck, then I don't need to go there anymore, and then it's just all about scaling and growing. Yeah. So for that 3 months I was here, I kept shooting. I went to LA. I went to the Arsenic House. I don't know if you know what that is, but like the OG Instagram people would know. Like they always posted the implied tasteful nudes and like they started their own like agency with different brands. So I started shooting with people like that and my following started growing a bit more. I believe I was at like almost 100,000 by May, and they called me and they're like, so are you like coming back? Because at this point it's either you have to come back or you have to quit because you can't really extend it beyond this point. And I was like, honestly, I don't think I'm gonna come back, so sorry.
Well, that was a big moment that you were probably excited. Now, how did you basically, you're like, all right, I'm out, and now it was all OnlyFans. How did you scale that? Like, what is the emphasis of saying, I'm going to scale my OnlyFans account?
For me, that meant, because I'm from Canada, there's not much photographers or creators there to work with. So for me, it meant really reinvesting everything I was making back into trips, paying photographers that had big followings that I knew would post me so I could get some followers and subscribers from them. I actually had one of my subscribers pay for a photo shoot that it was like $500 and I was only making 2,000. So he like paid for a shoot. But once that photographer posted me, I got so many subs that I was like, okay, this is a good investment for me to make on my own in the future. Like once I have enough to afford it. Cause I don't know, if I paid $500 and I got at least $800 of subscribers, then I can still make money off them in the messages. Like that's worth it, you know? Which I'm pretty sure I probably made more. And there was a few photographers that I paid to shoot with. I went on a bunch of trips. Every girl that I would come across, I'd be like, do you want to collab? Like, let's collab. So I was just doing as many collabs and photo shoots as possible and investing it back. I would pay for promo. At the time, a lot of girls were selling shout outs on their stories or their feed for so many hours for so many dollars. So I was paying I was just literally reinvesting every single dollar back into the business.
So there's people who may be watching this, they've got a goal in their mind, and some people think it's unrealistic, some people think it's crazy, but they want to do it, and they fear, going to tell people, they fear, what people are going to think. Right. So obviously for you, it was probably a very, very scary moment to tell your friends, tell your family. How did that all go down?
Well, the friends just found out through the Instagram stories, I believe.
So you just didn't care at all? You were like, this is what I'm doing. If they want to
Um,
follow, like, let's
Honestly, I
go.
was kind of like posting booty pics on my Snapchat for free anyway. So it's
Oh, so they
like,
already kind of saw stuff
like
like that.
I was always posting like promiscuous like
Yeah.
stuff. Not always actually. Like once I was in engineering school, I didn't really want to post any bikini photos and stuff because I knew like when you're applying
Yeah.
for jobs, they're gonna search it up, and that might be a factor when they don't hire you.
Yeah.
But I kind of just stopped caring because I heard the saying, "People's opinions don't pay my bills."
Ooh.
And that was my deciding factor whether like I was going to go all in or not. The only other decision that like was really hard for me is because obviously I'm from Iran, so like my dad, I was just worried like what he would think. He actually didn't talk to me for about a year.
Mm.
A lot of my family got sent like screenshots of my like oily booty pics on Instagram and stuff. So like he just thought the worst case scenario from seeing those photos.
Did you ever think of what people then thought about you? Like, do you think that their whole perspective of who Ara was just completely did a 180? And what were you thinking?
I think majority of people thought because I was doing all these like lingerie shoots and oily booty photos on Instagram that I was like a prostitute, and that's
Mm.
far from it. I've never even had a sugar daddy. I'm the one like paying for things, like
Yeah.
like if anything, if I've never been able to like process like what, like I guess that's people's upbringing. Like if they just look at that photo, they just assume I guess that's that person's job. But a lot of people didn't even know what OnlyFans was at the time. Like I think
Yeah.
to this day a lot of people don't. They still think it is prostitution, but it's like
Yeah.
so far from it. I've been celibate for an entire year. Like I
Yeah.
don't even have sex. I don't even leave my
Wow.
house. I literally hang out with my dog and get high.
So
I
what?
smoke weed. Like
So how like is that because you value your body and like your own self that you're gonna save it for somebody you fall in love with, or is it just like, hey, unless this is somebody I really connect with, or like,
yeah, I think I'm just at this stage. I'm 30 years old, so I want to settle down and have a family, and
Mhm.
I'm very traditional in that sense. I'm still holding the traditional values that I grew up with, and I like it. Like I know some people have their own opinions. Like some people don't want to have kids. Some people don't care if they get married or not. Like I want that. That's what
Yeah.
I want to do. That's what makes me happy. So I don't want to really be in like random, even like 1 month little relationships that don't really mean anything. I
For
would
sure.
rather just save myself for the person that's
Yeah.
my person.
Totally.
And I feel like at that point, like I'm gonna know if it's my person or not,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't really want to waste my time with people. I personally don't even really enjoy like the one night stand culture. For me, it's more about like a connection, like just like
Totally.
different type of connection, like mentally, like everything.
I think honestly that whole like one night stand, I think it's honestly faded because alcohol used to be so popular and it was almost like, oh, if you drink, okay, you're part of the crew. Oh, and if you're ready for one night stand, you're part of the crew. That means that you're legit. And I think alcohol, I don't think, I know it's faded because if you look at these alcohol companies, they've created alcohol drinks to
Yeah.
make you fit in. So if
Hmm.
that's the case, and now there's all these different run clubs, there's all these different fitness things and beach meetups.
And
So
even the younger generation, like
exactly.
you can. There's so many creators, YouTubers, streamers that I've worked with that don't drink and they've never
Yeah,
drank their entire life. So it's like
exactly.
I love that because drinking has become so popular, and I feel like it's like now we're getting into deep things, but I feel like it's part of like the Illuminati's plan to get
Oh,
people distracted from their actual goals. Like
yeah,
if
yeah.
because think about it this way: when I worked my 9 to 5, I hated my life. I looked forward to the weekend so I could get trashed with my friends
Mm,
or make friends because I lived in a city where I didn't have many friends. So I was like, make friends so I can actually have people to go out and get drunk with. Then you spend your whole weekend being hungover, doing it again, and then it's Monday. So now you're back to thinking about your job and you're in the system.
yeah,
You're not really thinking about your goals and dreams and side hustles and growing your socials or whatever it is that you've been wanting to do, but you just don't because you don't have time and you're just drinking, or you don't have money, but you do have $200 to spend at the bar
yeah,
every weekend.
yeah. I mean, because that has faded, the one night stand thing has kind of faded, and now people I think are slowly going back into like, I want to find real love, or I want to really find my man or my woman, which is helping I think love coming back to reality in a positive way. Now, going into, if you're looking for a family one day, are you gonna stop doing OnlyFans? Are you gonna tell that man or ask him if he's okay with this? Like, how is that gonna go down?
Um, I believe the person that I'm gonna be with is obviously gonna know. Like, it's not like I'm gonna be hiding it. Like, You
Yeah.
you can find it on Google. So they have to be a fan of me. They have to be my only fan. And if I want to continue to do OnlyFans, maybe we have like an understanding of what type of content gets sold or whatever. Like we can obviously come to an understanding with the person, but I don't know if I'm ever going to quit doing OnlyFans. Like
Yeah.
literally there's a fetish for MILFs. There's a fetish for every single thing. There's literally, I know ladies that are 56 years old and are married and their man, their husband films them doing porn with other male stars. The man is
Oh,
not even a
wow.
porn star. You know what I mean? There's all different dynamics of people. Like he's into
crazy.
that. He's a cuck. Like he likes that.
Wow.
So there's different types of people. I'm not saying that's what I want. I'm just saying the possibilities are endless. Whether I stop doing it altogether, if he can support our family and I just don't have to do anything, or I could just be like a makeup creator, like, you know,
Yeah.
whatever it is, I'm negotiable with it.
Yeah.
I guess I'll cross that bridge once it comes.
Yeah.
But it's not. I'm not trying to hide anything. Like I do OnlyFans. I've done it, and I might continue doing it. I don't really know, but
Yeah.
it's. I could not imagine doing anything else. Like I've thought about even getting like a bottle service job because I used to just like talking to people and like trying to get tips, like, or I don't know, like even serving. Like when I worked as a server at a steakhouse, I'd be like, okay, so do you want to add like a lobster tail or do you want to add this? And they'd be like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, I just ran up the bill. So when you go to tip 20%, it's 20% of all of these things that you just got. Like I said, I'm a numbers person. So I thought about doing that and then I thought about a boss.
Okay.
Like, I'm not answering to anybody.
Oh,
I'm my own.
okay.
I don't want to have a boss.
You're saying you never want to work for anybody.
Yeah, like the thought of having a boss.
Yeah.
Because I'm my own boss.
Yeah.
I don't want to have a boss. I don't want to come when I'm supposed to come. I want to come whenever I feel like coming and I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
The thought of my feet hurting after an 8-hour shift just standing and walking around. The thought of a customer being mad at me for the kitchen fucking something up. Just all these things that I would have to deal with. I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'll just go live on OF an extra night a week.
Mean, it definitely sounds a lot easier. So,
and that's the thing I feel with OnlyFans. It's like you're in control of how much money you make. So if I want to make more money, I could just do more lives or I could just do more YouTube or do more something that brings me more money.
Yeah.
Whereas like a 9 to 5, that was another reason that I didn't love it. Because I was like, okay, so is there like overtime? Like, do you guys have extra projects I could do? They're like, no, if you want to work extra hours, you could just work extra hours at your regular rate. I'm like, okay, I'd rather just go home. Like,
that's crazy. So like, okay, when you have kids,
right?
How is that going to go down? Are you going to block them, not allow them on social media, or just, hey, look, kids, like this is what I do?
I mean, maybe I'll ask Kim Kardashian and see what she does with her kids.
That's true. That's a good question.
Yeah.
So, okay, so if society, like, because the whole talk out there is OnlyFans is bad, like those people, ugh.
I mean, okay, so let's break it down. Okay, so I have kids.
Okay.
Let's say I have kids tomorrow. I'm 30. I'm 30 right now. So let's say by the time I have the kids, I'll be 31. So for the kids, what year do the kids go to school? At how old?
5.
Are they going to school at 5? Kindergarten?
6?
Let's just say 7. They start grade 1 and 7 at 7 years old. So I'll be 38 by the time they go to grade 1.
Okay.
It'll be almost a decade later than now.
Okay, that's true.
We have AIs and we have all this technology.
True.
By the time my kid is ready to go to school, I'm sure there'll be some sort of technology for me to block him from seeing anything.
True.
1, 2, all the kids at his school have never even been told what an OnlyFans is. Or ever, like, who's going to ask for my OnlyFans at the parent-teacher conference? Is how is anybody even going to know who I am?
Well, and even if somebody does know who you are,
then gotcha.
That's their fault. I mean,
how do you know me?
Yeah.
You know?
And then now it's like a husband or whatever. It's like, hey, I don't know if you know, but your husband is subscribed to
Or it's like, did your husband tell you how he found me?
Yeah.
Is he subscribed? Let me look him up, see how much his money he spent.
That's hilarious. But so society, again, like, what's your message to people who may have a lot of assumptions about an OnlyFans girl thinking they live an easy life? They're a joke to society. They don't know what hard work is. Like, you know, all those kind of societal assumptions. And to be honest with you, I mean, like, I've only known you so far for 6 hours? And I mean, you're a genuine human being. We're having great conversations. Like, I can just tell, like, taking away the label of an assumption of an OnlyFans, like, I can genuinely say that is like removed, and you just seem like an amazing human being.
Thank you.
And people may not know that because
Right.
they're not hanging out with you, so they don't genuinely know you. So what's your message to those people who maybe having all of these assumptions in their head, about OnlyFans and you in general?
Honestly, your opinion doesn't pay my bills.
Mm,
But I mean, you watched my day.
yeah,
You see what type of person I am. I'm like a normal human being. I'm not a robot. I'm not an
yeah,
AI. I have feelings. I eat food. I take a shower like all of us. We all sleep. And like at the end of the day, we're all the same humans. We're all from
yeah,
Earth. I just do a different job than you.
yeah. And I
Like
wouldn't,
my
yeah,
job, like when I clock in for work, is just different than when other people clock in for work.
yeah, totally,
And just because somebody clocks in at work, wherever they clock in at work, doesn't make them a different human being after they
for
clock out.
sure.
The only difference is that I don't ever clock out. My work is
True.
24/7.
Really, how so?
I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and maybe answer an email because
Wow.
somebody in LA decided to email me before they went to sleep. And for
Mm,
them, that was 3 hours ago.
got it.
And sometimes randomly I wake up at 4 a.m. to use the bathroom or drink water or whatever. So I'll check my phone. And if it's something that, I feel like I want to reply to it, I might reply to it. Or my messages on OnlyFans. That
Yeah.
doesn't stop. Like I'm always waking up in the middle of the night and replying back to people.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And Instagram too, I'm sure.
Instagram, I don't really reply to like everyone's messages. Like if
Yeah.
you're a fan and you want to talk to me, you have to go to my VIP
there,
pages.
yeah.
But yeah, on Instagram maybe somebody posted a story of me and I want to repost it, you
Yeah.
know? I get up in the middle of the night and I do different things. Maybe I reached out to a brand that's overseas and maybe they replied back while I'm sleeping.
Yeah.
But yeah, money doesn't sleep. I work for myself, so
I mean, you
I
work a
can
lot of hours.
I can do whatever I want. And it depends on the person. Not a lot of people do that. There's girls
Yeah.
that have agencies that run their messages. There's girls that have people that get their brand deals for them. There's girls that do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
It just depends
I
what
mean,
type of
yeah,
person you.
what you've shown me is a lot. It's a lot of different footage or a lot of different content, a lot of different angles, a lot of different work and behind the scenes. So what's a range of how many subscribers you have on your account? Is that what it is? Called subscriber?
Yeah, so I
member?
have 3 accounts. One of them has 111,000.
Jeez.
Another one has 20,000, and another one has 3,000.
Are they just all three separate accounts, or is it
Yeah.
like different tiers?
3 different accounts.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Some of them are free pages, so there's no subscription fee, and some of them are you have to pay to enter, so there's a subscription
Oh,
fee.
gotcha. Okay. Now, what is like the average cost for like? I mean, I've heard it's $5 usually. I've heard
Yeah, mine's on sale right now. It's like $6.50. Full price is like $9.99
Okay.
for my subscription, but I have like different subscription bundles for like 3 months or 6 months or 1 year.
Got it.
But it varies. I think on average, it's usually the girls that have it on sale for like $5 or
Yeah.
It honestly depends on the people because I have seen girls that have like $20 or $30 subscriptions too. It just depends on the person, I
Yeah.
guess.
So, what's like the range of what you make in a year and other OnlyFans girls make in a year? Because people are always wondering, and obviously it can be very broad. But what's some
Yeah.
different ranges?
So I would say you can make anywhere from $4,000 a month to $4 million a month.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, so are there different like tiers, or obviously like how long you've been on there, or what bit
It really
determines
honestly
that?
comes down to you cultivating a fan base for yourself. It doesn't matter if you have a large Instagram or Twitch or Twitter or wherever, but you need to have people that give a shit about you.
Yeah.
And the more people that you have that give a shit about you, the more money you make,
Yeah.
basically.
And how does that, is it just based off of like marketing photos on Instagram that leads them there? Or what kind of determines if they're gonna, want to subscribe probably?
Honestly, I wish I knew what determines it, but it really just depends on different things. There's girls that, I don't know, just dated somebody famous and
Yeah.
have that fan base. There's girls that go hard every day posting 12 TikToks
Yeah.
that build a fan base from TikTok. There's girls that go live on Twitch all day. So you can build an audience anywhere as long as you kind of have an audience somewhere to just, bring them over to yourself. And not necessarily doesn't mean the content has to be crazy on all these platforms. Like some of these people are like just doing regular content, but they just, people like them. They like their look, they like their face, they think they're funny, they like their personality. Something draws the audience to you, or they relate to you in a way that makes them want to click to find out more about you and to see, even if you have one, you know?
Yeah. Now, when you go meet people and, you know, they're like, what do you do for a living? Like, do you just say, yo, OnlyFans? Like,
honestly, I used to say influencer or content creator.
Okay.
I do say content creator a lot because I do create content. Like, I work with different brands. I do create content and send companies like UGC type of content where they just post it on their social media. So I work with so many different brands that I am a content creator, but a lot of people just, even if they don't work with brands and they're just OnlyFans girls, they say I'm an influencer or a content creator because it just sounds like less crazy. But sometimes I'll just say it just to see people's reactions. I'm like, I do OnlyFans for a living. And they're like, what?
Tell me more. What is that?
But sometimes it's like, it's kind of weird. Like, I hate telling a guy, like, I do OnlyFans for a living because they're like, oh, yeah, she's a whore. I'll just fuck her. Not a relationship girl. But when you tell a girl that you do OnlyFans, they're like, oh my God, girl, teach me. Like, you know, it's like different vibes. You get different vibes out of different people.
That's so
Or if I tell an older lady at the DMV, she'd be like, what's OnlyFans?
Yeah. I mean, it's I told my mom I was coming to shoot the video. She's like, what is that? I was like, all right.
It's like Playboy, but on steroids.
But it's so interesting because, like, I honestly, like, the guy talk about an OnlyFans woman is just completely different than what you just told me about a woman's talk about OnlyFans woman.
I mean, it depends on the woman too.
True,
It just all depends on the person.
Yeah, but it's like, it's a complete 180, right? And that's why I was so interested in coming to spend a day with you, is because guys say this, girls say this, society says this, and society says that. And the only way for me to ever know what the truth is actually coming to spend a day with somebody like you. Mm-hmm. So if you could describe yourself that in a positive way that benefits society or that is a motivation to people, how would you describe yourself, you know, in a short sentence or one word in general?
I hope inspirational, or motivational.
Okay.
One of the two words. Those would be like what I would want
people
to take away from me.
Yeah, and there's people who, again, have goals and they're so scared to go after it right now while they're watching this. What is your message to them?
Honestly, just go for it. Like, whatever it is that you keep saying you want to do, if you want to become a chef, just do it. Like, start cooking and record yourself. Whatever you want to do, just record yourself and post it. It would be my advice to you, because you never know what platform will connect with you and like love you. I always say this: if you want to be a chef, record yourself in the beginning, because in a month, in a year, in 6 months, you can always come back to that video on the first day and be like, wow, look at the transition of how you shot it, the lighting, even your techniques. Like, that's all like it's the same as when you work out and you know how your trainer tells you to like send them weekly photos. It's like same thing for whatever you want to do. Some people hate being on camera. It's like, you don't have to be on camera. You can record your hands. Yeah. You can record far away. Yeah. But my advice to everybody would be, do what you want to do, but also don't forget to create content and have fun with it. And put yourself out there. Like, what do you have to lose? If somebody doesn't like you, they'll just keep scrolling. Yeah. Or they might leave a mean comment, but like, fuck them. That'll make the video go more viral.
Their opinions aren't paying the bills.
I mean, sometimes they are if it goes viral.
Well, thank you so much. Again, if you guys want to see the full video, the link will be down below of a day in her life. And again, really appreciate your time.
Thanks for my flowers.
And your energy. Yes, and we spent a ton of time and energy and money to get these flowers. So